It's February 15th, and this day was a pretty special one for a father-son duo in different years. We also had the slowest finish in Daytona 500 history and the fastest triple-double in NBA history. Those stories plus Jason Tatum received some extra special motivation from Coach K on this day, and a non-sports fun fact coming your way at the end about a popular horror movie. I'll get started right after this. Let's start today's edition in 1998 when Dale Earnhardt finally won the Daytona 500. Now, no other sport puts its biggest event at the start of the season. But for NASCAR, the Daytona 500 is the crown jewel, the Super Bowl for every driver. It is the most coveted win. This was Earnhardt's 20th try to win the big one. At that point in his career, he'd won 70 races, and he'd been the NASCAR champion a record-tying 7 times. Now, he had been close at the Daytona 500, finishing second 4 times. And it wasn't the track that was the problem. He'd won the Clash and the Gatorade 125 qualifiers several times. He'd won the Pepsi 400 at Daytona over July 4th weekend twice. He was even known as Mr. Restrictor Plate because of his success at super speedways running the horsepower-sucking device. But the Daytona 500 kept slipping away. A mechanical issue in '86 when his engine blew leaving the pits while he was leading. A crash in '97 when he was running in the lead pack before getting tapped by Dale Jarrett. Or the bad luck he had in '91 when he hit a seagull that damaged his car's aerodynamics enough to spoil the end for him. It always seemed to be something that prevented him from getting to the winner's circle on the biggest stage. Now here in '98, there was Dale Earnhardt's signature black No. 3 Chevrolet out front with 10 laps to go. There was a lot of hope, but also people wondering how it was going to go wrong this time around. Now, something to keep in mind, in '98, the caution rule was different than it is now. When the yellow caution flag flew then, there was a race back to the finish line, and then the field was frozen in the order that cars crossed, and if it was the end of the race, well, the final laps would be run under caution, and that would be it. And so it was with this finish.
20 years of trying, 20 years of frustration. Dale Earnhardt will come to the caution flag to win the Daytona 500. Finally, the most anticipated moment in racing.
Earnhardt took the parade lap under caution to take the checkered flag and win his first and only Daytona 500. That was special in itself, but what truly made this so memorable of an event is what happened when he turned on pit road heading to victory lane.
Look out on pit road. Every man on every crew has come out to the edge of pit lane to congratulate the man who has dominated everything there is to win in this sport, except this race, until today.
Interestingly enough, it did not take Dale Earnhardt Jr. anywhere near that long to win his first Daytona 500. On this same day, 6 years later, Dale Jr. won his first Great American race in only his 5th try. Jr. had qualified 3rd, but after pole sitter Greg Biffle got moved to the back of the field after a post-qualifying engine change, he moved up to the inside spot and led at the drop of the green flag. He led 56 laps total, including the final 19 after passing Tony Stewart. It was his 10th career win and the 6th time he'd won a restrictor plate race, and he was reminded in Victory Circle that his win came on a special anniversary.
Dale, your father won it 6 years ago today.
Yeah, I mean, he was over in the passenger side riding with me. I'm sure he was having a blast. Man, I tell you, it's a hard race to win. You know, it's a season in itself. That entire race is just, there's so many things going on, so much running through your mind. You know, I've seen it, been lost so many times by Dad over and over, and I was taught so many lessons by this place before I ever got behind the wheel, and God, I'm glad I ain't got to worry about it no more. Man, this is awesome.
And one more Daytona 500 memory for you. On this day in 1976, it was a wild and not exactly fast finish at the Daytona 500. This was a tale of 2 races in one. The first part of the race saw A.J. Foyt rocket from the back of the pack to the front and drive out front more than anybody else that day, leading 68 laps. But his engine blew up, and he spent the rest of the afternoon in the garage. In fact, that was what happened to a lot of drivers in this one. Of the 45 who started the race, only 18 finished it, and only 2 finished on the lead lap. Those 2 drivers who were out front at the end were Richard Petty, looking for his 6th win at the Daytona 500, and David Pearson, a guy who'd been racing at Daytona since 1960 but had never won it. As Petty and Pearson took the white flag for the final lap, Petty was out front by about a car length, but Pearson was closing in. Calling the action that day for ABC were Bill Fleming and Jackie Stewart.
Richard Petty and Pearson go high. Pearson now has the lead. Petty tries to go back down on the inside as they come out of the 4th turn. They only have about 750 yards to go. Oh, it's a domination straightaway. They did hit. Petty smashes into the wall. Will he come across the start-finish line? He's going to win the race. He's going to win it spinning, as he, I believe, will take the checkered flag. No, he did not make it. He is less than 100 yards from it. Here comes Pearson. Pearson is going to try to make it across the finish line. Petty has his car going. Pearson's going to win it. Oh, fashion triangle. He wins the race. What a finish for a motorcycle. I've never seen anything like that. It's unbelievable.
Petty's car came to rest about 50 yards from the finish line, sitting in the infield grass, but his engine had stalled and he could not get it restarted. In his rearview mirror, he could see Pearson had gotten his restarted and driving across the infield grass to take the checkered flag, doing it at about 20 miles an hour. Petty received a push from his crew to finish second. On this day in 1994, it was the Mardi Gras Miracle. It was a never say never moment as Kentucky erased a huge second-half deficit in Baton Rouge. Trailing LSU by 31 with 15.5 to play, the Wildcats put together an incredible rally. They were able to whittle the deficit down with a 13-0 run, and then they started stepping out behind the three-point arc and bombing away.
To McCarty, set for a 3. It's good. He has 3 of those tonight. McCarty with 16 points. Pearson gets it for Kentucky. 72-58. Kentucky could tighten it up if they score this trip down. Here's McCarty. Go to Harrison. Open for the 3. On the way. Yes!
The Wildcats hit 12 of their 23 three-point attempts in the second half to pull closer. Still, with under 3 minutes to play in this one, they trailed by 9. But they kept their three-point barrage going.
Thinking too much. Kentucky's thinking that's just about right. Brasso. Again! Way outside. Unbelievable. Kentucky within 3. Crowd asking for a defensive stop now from LSU. Delk goes up for 3, and he gets it. Kentucky is on fire. They only needed 2 to tie. Shot clock on the left. Tony Delk to work. McCarty for 3. He got it! Kentucky wins! Incredible!
Walter McCarty, the sophomore, hit back-to-back threes, the second coming with 19 seconds left to give Kentucky the lead for good. McCarty finished with 23, and Kentucky won 99-95. The 31-point hole they dug themselves out of to win is the largest second-half deficit overcome to win a college basketball game. On this day in 2018, Denver's Nikola Jokic scored the fastest triple-double in NBA history. The Nuggets were on the road at Milwaukee, and Jokic went to work early.
Jokic for 3. Troika!
After 14 minutes 33 seconds, Jokic had double-digit points, rebounds, and assists. Now, this was his time on the court, not the time in the game. He got the double digits in scoring, hitting an 18-foot jumper with 5:44 left in the second quarter, grabbed his 10th rebound with 3:18 remaining, and then with 1:54 left in the first half, he dished out his 10th assist.
Now into Jokic. Got to be careful not to get the third foul. They're doubling now behind the back. Juancho lay it up and in. A sensational pass by the Joker.
He beat the previous mark of 17 minutes, set 63 years earlier by the Syracuse Nationals' Jim Tucker back in 1955. Jokic finished the night with 30 points, 17 assists, and 15 rebounds in 34 minutes in a 134-123 win. On this day in 2017, Future six-time NBA All-Star and Boston Celtic Jason Tatum was a lowly freshman at Duke. As a five-star recruit, his future was certainly bright, but a lot was expected of him. On this day, Coach K wanted a little bit more out of the St. Louis kid. The Devils were on the road at Virginia, and after a lackluster first half where he scored just 2 points, and with the Cavaliers up 4 at the break, Coach K lit into his young prodigy, calling him a soft-ass kid he should have left in St. Louis. Tatum, who later called Coach K a master manipulator, responded with an explosive 26-point second half to finish with 28, and Duke winning 65-55. Even the great ones need a little motivation every now and again. On this day in 1978, Leon Spinks stunned the boxing world with an upset of Muhammad Ali. Ali was the champ, but there had been whispers that Ali was going to retire before this fight. His longtime doctor, Ferdy Pacheco, had left Ali's camp after telling him that it was time to hang up the gloves. His kidneys were in rough shape, but Ali wanted to keep going and he ignored the advice. He did not figure the fight on this night would be much of anything, really. Spinks had only fought professionally 7 times, but he came out swinging, which seemed to make Ali laugh. He went into his peekaboo and his rope-a-dope maneuvers, thinking the kid would tire himself out. Well, he did not. He kept coming at the champ. By the 10th round, Ali had had enough. He connected with a couple of good right hands, but the kid kept taking it. He followed that up in the 11th, but still, Spinks answered the bell for the 12th, 13th, 14th, and in the 15th, Ali got desperate. Now concerned he had not done enough to win the fight, he needed to put Spinks on the mat. This round was a slugfest with both fighters going for the knockout, and Ring Magazine actually called it the best round of the year. When the results were announced, Spinks had won on 2 of the 3 cards to win by split decision and win the heavyweight championship title. And time now for today's That's Got Nothing to Do with Sports fun fact. The movie Nightmare on Elm Street is loosely based on a true story. Years before dreaming up the concept for the movie, Wes Craven read a series of newspaper articles about refugees from Laos, Cambodia, and Vietnam who were afflicted with nightmares so disturbing that they forced themselves to stay awake and, in some cases, died upon finally falling asleep. That's all I've got for you today. Come on back tomorrow for another edition of This Day in Sports History. This has been an original Thrive Suite production.